All right, guys, I caught this swarm 8 months ago. I caught it in August. I thought that's so late in the season, there's no way they're gonna be able to survive the winter. I actually caught 4 swarms in the beginning of August last year. This is the only one that actually survived the winter in the swarm trap. It was a long, cold winter here in Missouri. It gets well below 0 on some nights. And this is a very thin walled swarm trap, extremely thin. So for them to be able to survive is quite impressive. I wasn't actually expecting any of them to survive, but it did. And I've not opened it since I caught it. So I'm super excited to see what's inside. Let's go ahead and open it up and check it out. Oh, wow.
What is this?
That is propolis. Yeah, this is bee glue. This is called propolis. It's a really, really sticky resin that the bees collect from trees. Throw some smoke down inside there. Inside there, that really helps to calm the bees while I'm managing them, so they're a little bit less aggressive and less interested in me. This is the first time I've ever had bees in a swarm trap for the entire winter, so I'm genuinely fascinated. I expect all these frames to be fully drawn. Let's see. Okay, not too bad. So far, it's full of eggs. I'm seeing honey on the top here in these cells. There's a little bit of pollen right here in these cells. And then there's eggs down here in these lower cells. They're definitely a lot more organized. They've been doing this a little bit longer than the other one has, living in this box. Different bee genetics will determine how much propolis the bees use. Some bees can't get enough. They propolis everything. So we've got quite a bit of brood on this frame. Very beautiful, all capped brood, all worker brood. So we have a
Difference between worker brood and...
Well, I don't see any drone brood, so I can't show you, but this is all worker brood right here. We're gonna pivot to the other side and just take a look. We've got a lot of worker brood here too. Seeing a ton of brood and very little honey storage, so just very little honey. So these bees are focused on growth, 100% growth focused right here. See how calm they are? They're just chilling, trying to keep the brood warm. A lot less sporadic than the other hive was, where they were just kind of running around like, what's going on? Here, check out that propolis. They really like their propolis. So I actually have a propolis collector. This would be a really good hive to use the propolis collector on. But also, to help keep it warmer during the winter, they probably used a lot of this propolis to seal any and all cracks and gaps so that it's a little bit more airtight, which helps it keep it warm during the winter. That also might be one reason why there's so much propolis in here.
We have some hive beetles.
Hive beetles are always going to be in the hives. There's just no way around it. But a strong, healthy hive, they can manage the hive beetles just fine. This hive seems to be doing very well with the hive beetles. Unbothered. Okay. Got a lot of brood. They really don't have very much honey storage. This queen is focused 100% on brood. They do have some good honey storage on the top, right here. So they're not starving, but look at how tight that brood pattern is. That's gorgeous. And look, we've got some drone brood down here now. So right there on the bottom is drone brood. See how the cells are thicker and wider?
Fat.
They're kind of fat. And then these ones right here are small. The difference in size is how you can tell the difference between drone brood and worker brood. And there she is, right smack dab in the center. Can you spot the queen? She's right there. Just walking around. She's laying 1,000 to 2,000 eggs every single day. And there's almost no honey in this box. There's almost no food storage. She is so focused on filling this box with the babies, which is just fine.
Won't they starve?
they would starve if there was like 5 days of rain. That would really make them struggle, because they wouldn't be getting a lot of food. But right now they're bringing in so much food. They're actually getting plenty of food every day. But you saw how many bees on that box when I shut the door bringing in food. They're bringing in a ton of food every day, and they need it. For how many babies there are, they need it. I think every single frame has just been fully loaded with brood. Very, very little honey storage.
What did you expect from this 8-month?
I expected actually a lot more honey. You know, for a hive to be able to survive the winter, they're gonna have a lot of honey. And there's almost no honey. So the fact that they've got this much brood just means they've eaten all their honey stores, because once upon a time they definitely had good honey stores. And now they're just focused 100% on brood production, which is totally appropriate this time of year.
Ooh, that's the old comb that you used.
That was the lure. I always put a chunk of old brood comb to attract the bees. This one's actually got quite a bit of pollen and honey on the top here, and pollen around the middle section.
So this is more of a honey.
This is their pantry. They always keep the pantry close to the nursery. So the queen says, "Get out of my pantry, I'm turning this into a nursery." She wants every square inch of this box for babies. And so this is actually perfect timing that we're getting these bees moved from the swarm trap, which was landlocked. There was no more room for them to really grow, to moving them into a full-size box. Now we can give them extra frames. They'll be able to actually start packing away honey, and they will. Now that they've got this as their brood nest, by throwing in some of these empty frames from the hive that died last year, they're going to fill this up with honey so fast, because now they actually have a place to put all the honey. They're not going to be fighting with the queen for storage space. So I'm just going to go ahead and add probably 3 or 4 frames here, because these bees are so full of brood. Their population is going to double in a week. Their population is going to triple in 2 weeks. So they're going to need all this extra space ASAP. So I'm going to give them 3 frames of drawn comb, and I'm going to give them a couple of frames of new fresh comb so that they have something to work on. All right, time to add the divider board. Remember how many bees were stuck on the frames? They're not coming out because they're keeping those brood frames nice and warm. It's not a cold day, but they got to make sure they keep those brood really nice and warm. So they'll start sending out foragers now that they're settled into their new home. But just the difference between this hive, this swarm trap that I caught from August last year and I haven't touched until May, they filled all 6 of those frames to the brim. So now I've added 5 more frames for them to grow, because they're gonna need every single piece. Versus this one right here that I caught just a week ago. They only had a couple frames just started with a couple of eggs. That was it. So these bees are gonna start growing. These bees are already ready to just boom. Thank you guys so much for watching. We're gonna check back on these bees again later on this summer and see how they're doing. Follow along to see more.